All right, B, catch us up to speed on what's going down with the Blazer, man.
All right, so this is an 86 Blazer, and I'm a big fan of, these Blazers and Broncos from this era. There really are some rugged-looking SUVs, so to speak. They just need a little TLC. This one needed a lot and still does. It's our buddy's truck. Him and his wife had the intent of turning it around and, fixing it up. Basically, it's just sat as an eyesore in the garage. Yeah. And the neighbors are starting to complain because a lot of times it gets pushed into the grass and kicked all around and collecting dust. So I extended the olive branch to him. I said, here's the deal. Give it to me and Matt. With a little TLC, we can really turn this thing around. You'd be surprised how quickly this thing will turn into a nice everyday driver.
So the first thing we had to do was clean it up a little bit, and we got a nice surprise a couple hours into it. I mean, look at that. There's some nice looking paint up underneath there, right? Good. So when it all started, the whole thing looked like this. You clean it up, it looks a lot better. I think by the time we add in some bumpers, new hood, new badging, some little new things down the side, and a lot of new interior, this thing is going to be leaps and bounds better than it is right now.
Yeah, a few extra seals around here, some new skins can really bring the exterior of this to life. We can have a B-Man Signature Series soon. Yeah. But what we got to do is before we get the outside done, we need to dive inside and take a look at the interior because it is hurting, bro.
A little graffiti on the side of this thing, but that's all right. So we got the top out of here and got the seats out of the way as well. That gives us a lot more room to work with, which is good. Now this vehicle originally did not have carpet in it, and that's another thing that we're going to do. So we got all of our pieces and parts for our little project today from the guys at Brothers Truck Parts. Now these guys are experts in all things Chevy truck from 1947 up to 1987. They get as excited as we do when we call them up and tell them what we're doing. They're like, look, you're gonna need this, this, and this, and here, we'll ship it to you. So one of the things that we are doing that is gonna make a big difference is going on right up here on the front when the new dash comes in.
Yeah, that dash is a real eyesore. You can see they had some kind of cover over it and that didn't do well. So we're just gonna replace the whole thing. We'll get that out of the way. And while we're up in there, what we're gonna do is replace the cover over our gauges. Now, the idea here is a lot of people think that sometimes just because the gauge covers are scratched up or yellowed out that you need all new gauges. Well, these work perfectly fine, so it's not a matter of replacing bad gauges. If you just replace the cover, you'll get that effect of having a whole new gauge pack. Now, to get to it, we're gonna pop up this dash cover right here, and then we've got to get the bezel out of the way. I haven't done one in a while. It's been at least a few weeks, so I can't remember how smoothly this is supposed to come out or not. Oh, there we go. This out of the way. Now I can start taking that cover off. That out of the way.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh. There we go. Gift from me to you.
Thanks, man. Always wanted this.
All right, so here's the old one out of the place, and you can compare it to the new one. You can see how this one's smoked up and all scratched over. By simply replacing the clear cover, the gauges will look brand new.
Next up are these old door panels, and this is going to look a lot nicer. Now, you have options when you work with the guys from Brothers, because let's say that the door panel, all in all, looked pretty good and you didn't want to have to replace the whole thing. You were only going to replace this part right here where you sit like this on it. Well, you can do that if you want to. You can call them up and just get this piece, pop that off, stick that on there. But these are old. We're going to replace the whole thing. So we got in here, got everything loosened up and out of the way. And we'll bend that. Come on. Get the handle out of the way. There we go. That's how you get it out of there. You just don't want to rip out the power window cords. So we can unplug these. There we go. Now, old door panel out. And we can take a quick look at how much better this is going to be. So this is just a quick glance at it. But look at that. Nice and clean. You work the handle in around that. By the time we put that on there, run the power windows back through, it's going to look like a brand new door on this 86 Blazer. Love it.
So Matt knocked out that inside door panel. Now it's time to attack the seats. And basically there's two different ways you can go. You spend a bunch of money and buy a brand new set of seats, or you can take the existing ones as long as the hardware is intact and you can just recover them. So that's what we're going to do. Now we got new seat covers coming from Brothers Truck Parts. It'll make it nice and easy. But what we got to do is, first of all, take the bench seat apart in two pieces and then take the old cover off. And it's not really hard to do, and it's nice is you're going to ditch this seat cover anyway. So if you get a little aggressive and you tear it a little bit, it's not the end of the world. The whole idea is you want to pull out these hog rings here with a set of pliers or dikes, and then you peel this all off. Once Matt gets here, he should have that new cover and we can start putting this thing back together. We're going to take a break. When we come back, hopefully that new velour cover will be here and we can keep cranking away on this 86 Blazer. All right, so let's get this old one out of the way, and hopefully our cushion will be in good shape. You know, we're working on this 86 Blazer today for a buddy of ours, kind of bringing it up to date, so to speak, and it's a lot about getting out with the old and in with the new. Man, perfect timing, bro.
If nothing else, I'm punctual. Feel this.
Is that velvet?
I don't know, it feels like it, doesn't it? That's velour right there.
You know, if it was socially acceptable, I think I'd drape myself in it. All right, that one's got the little pockets here, so that's for the bottom.
All right.
This is the top. Now, this is nice because it's got a zipper on it. You should be able to just slip it right over and zipper it up, and we don't even have to use hog rings.
This is a quick way
Should be a
to do
little
a
snug,
reupholstery job, isn't it? It's a little snug. It's good. Just right.
So once we get this on and all snug and zipped up, we can take the hardware off the bottom pad and recover it.
And
All right, we zip this up and we should be good to go here.
have I shown you the robes that I had made when I thought I was going to be a pro wrestler?
That's usually when I change the subject.
They feel just like this.
How about them bears?
How about that injured finger? Don't worry about that. I got 9 more.
All right, let me just stretch this over here. Now you want this to be nice and tight. This way it won't sag and it won't pucker once it's in place. So you need to work with it a little bit to get it to fit right.
So it doesn't rip when
Yep.
you're doing it. Nice job. All right, so this is the bench portion of the seat, and this just wraps over it just like the other one did, but it doesn't zip up though, like that. We got to use these hog rings. So we'll come in here, pop it through, grab them on there, give that a squeeze. You get the hog rings and the pliers with the kit. We had our own set for that, but they've got one with that, so you can.
Yeah, you just want to keep working your way around and make sure you get it nice and tight, nice and snug. Like I said, you don't want to have it pucker. Now there's some little bit of wrinkles you'll see in the top right now. That's just from shipping. That'll wear out, and plus once we tighten it all down, those will go away. Now you want to see where the seat belts go. They'll go right into here like this, so there's no cutting. They just sit down into this pocket nicely. But I think we might want to clean them up first.
Yeah, they look great, don't they?
What do you say?
That's a little touch up, but that's easy. We'll get to that because next up on the list is the carpet.
Yep. All right, flip this back. Let's go back to work. All right, we got one more to go, and we have this custom panel out of the way. Now, this was the fine craftsmanship of the owner of our Blazer. This is gone. We'll never have to see it again. It's got some mold on it and a bunch of watermarks. We're going to replace that with a brand new panel we got from the guys at Brothers Truck Parts. You got that?
Yeah.
Don't lose that speaker. All right, so one thing we also are going to do is lay some carpet. The seats are done. Before they can go in, obviously we want to clean up the back here, and the carpet's going to go a long way in doing so. It's nice because it's all cut to fit.
And the carpet lays right in nice and easy. And like Bruno said, it goes right around the wheel wells. We've got the little pieces down here for the corners. They think of just about everything, man. All the bases are covered. So I like to always kind of assemble it a little bit and see where we're going, you know, see what it's going to look like. I get ahead of myself, but it's looking nice already, man. I like where we're going with this. This is good.
Now here, when you get to these side panels, give you guys a little bit of advice. On the back side, it's nice because they punch all the holes. They've got little indentions so we can go through. The thing is, to get through the material though, you can't see them. So before you go to lay and put it in place, what you want to do is throw a little piece of masking tape all across each one of those spots and use an awl to push through the holes. The reason why we use the masking tape is because you're on black velour and you won't be able to find the holes later. So this way you can easily find them, peel them off, shoot a screw through it, and move on. It'll go a lot easier when it comes to putting this thing together.
This whole operation is moving from the rear to the front, right? So the back's looking good, man. Take a look at that. On the sides, the wheel wells, the bed, everything's looking good. We got some matching carpet all around the place, so now we can bring that look into the cab as well. This is nice.
Yeah, the upholstery is really give this thing a face look on the inside. Now, the front, one of the things you got to deal with, and especially you got four-wheel drive, is, well, you've got the shifter in the way. So what you want to do is kind of get one side all set what you want, you know, get it close and then fold it over. And Matt's making a little slot right here for that shifter knob to go through. The nice thing is we've got tons of wiggle room because this is the cover going to go over. Now, you'd really have to mess up badly to go outside of this, but we don't want to take anything for granted.
And I'm not saying I couldn't mess that up, but like you said, I'd really have to screw it up pretty bad. So, all right, let's get that
Got all the way through there. Okay.
Get our wiggle room up and over. Oh, we got to be getting close, huh? Are you in there?
I'm getting there. Wait.
Radio flying in.
It was only $49. We can
You know,
replace that.
yeah, he did.
There we
He
go.
only paid $50 for that radio. It's not a bad deal. All right,
So you want to really work this stuff out, and it's going to take a few minutes to get it to lay nice, but if you saw on the back side, they had it reinforced so it will kind of flatten out and you won't see all those grooves in the way, plus it'll give it a little bit of sound deadening, which is nice. So once this gets into place and we finish working it out, I can show you guys the dash. Now, if you remember, we put in that clear cover here so that our gauges are ready to go. The dash will go on. Here, grab that side.
Gotcha.
A little show and tell here. Yep. Like that. Into place.
Look at this, man.
Nice. And then the bezel will go in over it. So that point, man, you'll see once we get this all tied down, it's really going to finish off the interior. Now, the seats still have to go in, and a lot of loose ends need to be tied up. We also need to address some stuff up front.
Yeah, but you combine that with the door panels and everything, man, it is looking good. And you mentioned the front. We've got a whole facelift going on up there with a bunch of new pieces and parts for the front, including a new cowl induction hood, which is going to be a really nice touch.
Yeah, that's going to look really cool. The thing is, we got to do a little bit of paint work on that. And Matt, you've always got some good tips on painting that dupe color garage.
That I do, my friend.
All right, that should work right there. Hey, welcome back, guys. You know, when you're doing this at home, you want to make sure you got a couple set of hands or someone really strong to help you. Now, I've got Matt, so he's going to have to do.
Thanks. You know, we mentioned earlier the fact that we cleaned up the rest of the truck and made it look great, and we left the hood alone. Maybe somebody was wondering, well, aren't they going to clean the hood? No, because we have a brand new one coming. And here it is. We talked about this right before we went to break. New cowl induction hood. This thing looks nice, clean. We'll have to paint this later, but in the meantime, we can get it up here and see what it's going to look like.
Yeah, we kind of show you guys what this thing's going to look like. It's nice because we have like a fresh piece of canvas to work with. We don't have to mess with polishing and buffing and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I like the cowl induction, man. That just looks cool, doesn't it?
Looks angry,
yeah,
doesn't it?
A whole new look to that 86 Blazer, man. I like it.
All right.
Want to take this out and set it down?
Yeah, whatever. I have no problem holding on to this. I mean, we can just carry it around for 20 minutes if you want. You know, we would have had to have the hood up anyway to get it all this stuff and to get everything out of the way, so we figured it'd be safer probably just leave that thing off in the corner somewhere. That way you know who doesn't scratch it when we're taking all the old stuff out of the way. We got all these new pieces and parts for the front end from Brothers Truck Parts, and they're going to look fantastic.
Yeah, we've got a new bumper, we've got a new front grille, we've got new headlights, the bezels, all this stuff will complete that facelift up front. It's just a matter of getting the old out of the way first. We'll do it all at once and start piling on the new, man. It's going to look good when it's all said and done.
1, 2, 3 more up here. We got
it. Here. See them here?
We got 1, 2, 3.
Okay, cool.
We've got all the lights and the grille and everything out of the way. The brand new bumper is in place, and time for this new piece. It's like taking this thing to the dentist and gonna get it an all new grille right there. That's how it's gonna look, looking good. And when we come back from break, we're gonna finish up with the front end facelift.
Hey, welcome back. We're continuing on upgrading this 86 Blazer, bringing it to the modern era. Now, we've gone ahead and done a lot of work on the interior. Being an older vehicle, you wanna make sure that all that upholstery stays looking good. And what we're gonna do is weather seal everything really well with some new seals to keep it not only weatherproof, but airtight. So first things first, we're gonna work on this cap. Now, we've got a new seal kit from the guys at Brothers Truck Parts. And it can be a little tricky working with because you wanna make sure you do it right. If you do, it'll stay on really well. If not, you're gonna have a mess. You're gonna have a lot of adhesive also all over the side of the paint of this, and that's not what you want. So first thing, you pick off all the old seal, then you'll go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner, and what you wanna do is spray it on a rag and then wipe it, keep it localized. This way it won't damage the paint. Once that's done, you break out our weather strip adhesive. Now this stuff, you've got to know how to work with it. It's extremely effective if you use it properly. A little bit goes a long way, that's the key. So we've gone ahead and placed it already on our cap right here. Now what you want to do is do the same thing on our seal. Now here's the deal. A little bit goes a long way, like I said, but you don't want to squeeze it out. You know, you just want to let it come out on its own and ooze in kind of circle motion like this. And you'll go in about a foot at a time in terms of length. This way it doesn't get too far ahead of yourself and you don't make a mess, because this stuff is bright yellow, as you can see, and it will make a mess. It'll ooze everywhere. You just need a little bit like that, and this will stay sealed up pretty well. Now I've let this dry a little bit on this side, and you almost want to make it dry up a little before you use it. This way it doesn't mush around. So we go to place our seal on like that. We'll work on one end, and this way we can stretch it and contort it and twist it to get it where we want. We'll have a good seal, and we'll keep working our way all the way around the back of the cap, and then we can cut off the extra length, and we'll continue that throughout the rest of the seals on this vehicle. Before you know it, this thing will be airtight.
So here's where we're at. We're almost out of time this afternoon, but we've only got a couple things left to do to really make this thing finished, right? And it's right here, the fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff is the wheels and tires, because you can really dramatically change the whole look of a vehicle.
Right.
And you know what? They look cool and it's easy to do.
It is, man. You take a look at this. We got these new wheels from Allied. These things look great, and they're going to look even better when we're done. We're going to mate them up with these big 35-inch Pitbull rockers. Got a big aggressive tire on this thing now. He can get a little bit crazy if he wants to.
You know, keep along with that cray-cray theme. We're going to customize these wheels as well. Matt's gone ahead and taped off the outside, because what we want to do is make them that black and chrome on top of each other. It'll make that center look really deep by blacking it out, and the way we're going to do that is by using Duplicolor Shadow Chrome Blackout coating. So we'll spray that. It'll be two-tone. It'll look like a mile deep, and that will look cool.
I know you're thinking I'm crazy here, but look at this. One of the little changes, new badging that we got for the side. All right, here's where it's going, right? Bruno, now what about this? What if we took that same chrome blackout coating and put it on the badge?
That looks good, man.
Genius is what it is. That's going to look awesome. And again, that's easy to do. So here's the deal. From start to finish, we have seen big, monstrous changes on this truck. Everything that we got today from Brothers Truck Parts made such a big difference in this truck. I mean, take a look at the whole transformation.
Yeah, it's nice to know there's actually some nice paint underneath all that muck, and then you go into the interior, forget about it.
You know what we did? We cleaned her up, bought her a new outfit. Now we can take her out on the town. And I don't think the neighbors are going to be complaining anymore either.
I would hope not.
You know?